Ron, you have to learn to herd the cats.
What's that?
You have to learn how to herd the cats.
Yeah, I know.
Much clearer with the white door flash.
Attention!
Look at the march and the majorettes up there walking. Oh wow. But when it's particularly sunny, you pull that hood out over the ends. It's pretty perfect. It's grass. You think it'd be a good
Top, and then you saw the dead Confederate body. That's going to be right where you see those rocks put together. So we can actually transverse over through here if we want. We can make it through here so you can see it.
Yeah, with a sharpshooter. Well, that was posed, yeah.
Yeah, that was posed.
Where's the ghosted?
This is the famous spot where the photograph was taken.
Where's ghosted?
Watch out, there's poison ivy all over the place too.
Poison
Three, let it be.
If you come around on this side, you can actually take a look. If you have the cameras, you want to pose for pictures in there. Yeah. So you'll see the original photograph right here. And the dead Confederate. And you'll see exactly where that is. You'll see that like in every Civil War book that you find, you'll see usually that picture in there.
I wonder who he is, do you know?
No.
It wasn't like a stage photograph.
It was staged. Originally they thought it was real the way it was, but they found other photographs of the same guy, and then they realized that it was a staged photograph.
Yeah, but it was like it said that they moved it to the sharpshooters as well.
Yep.
You mean the sharpshooters were here?
Yes, when they had taken over the hill, then the Confederate sharpshooters were in here. Now this was originally held by the 3rd Corps, which was Sickles, and it was under Birney's division, and it was Hobart Ward's brigade. The 124th New York, which was considered the Orange Blossoms. The Orange Blossoms because they came from Orange County. They were the ones, and we're going to go over there by their monument in a little bit. They were actually on the right flank of, as you can see, these cannons right here. They're 10-pound Napoleons. Okay, yeah, not Napoleons. I'm sorry, 10-pound Parrots. They had 6 of them, but they took 2 and they put them actually back where you first came in. We'll be able to see them from the far rise. Also, just to let you know that these Parrots right here, they're dummies. They're not real. Okay, and you can tell there's about 40 dummy cannons here on the Gettysburg Battlefield. You can tell by looking at the muzzle that there's no information on the outside of the muzzle. It's usually a number, where it's made, and the year that it was made.
It's a witness tree.
Most of the trees here
battle.
are long gone,
Yeah.
but this one is a witness tree.
Does it have any shot marks in it?
This is a
Well,
witness.
if it is,
one of the few surviving.
It would have grown over.
well, yeah, the bark would grow over it.
Give me no idea. Let's
see there. Don't believe.
Okay, so these 4 Parrot rifles belong to the 4th United States Light Artillery. And again, if you look at the muzzle, if there's no information on the muzzle, that means it's a dummy.
It is kind of interesting
Ron,
too.
you know
that
what kind of
have in
range they
mind
get out of
everything.
these things? Effective range?
Effective range, About 1,580 yards.
The tree was originally,
But you know what's funny is it's an oak tree, it's an acorn, and you can also have a descendant.
So this is characteristic of the 10-pound parent. You notice the wrought iron band around there, and again, that's to protect the breech from exploding. So they did still explode, but not as much as the others.
Say 10 pound, that's a British count. The British always use 10, 12, 16 pound.
Yeah, well, the British actually used more like 6 and 8 pounders.
Right.
So, like if you're talking about like the Zulu Wars, they never used anything this large because this was. Now, to get these up this hill, they had help from the 124th New York, which is going to be stationed over there. These cannons were used. Now, if you look straight across, this is what they saw over there. So if you see that tree line way in the back, that's part of Confederate Avenue. When it crosses over Emmitsburg Road, it's called Warfield Ridge.
According to this, it's Seminary Ridge.
Well, yeah, it's over in here, but then it gets over here, then it's called Warfield Ridge as well. So what you're looking immediately in front of you is Triangle Field, and they had to come across. So what happened was Anderson's brigade, which was First Texan, and there was also an Arkansas regiment involved there. They were the first ones to come up here. On your left-hand side, what happened was the 48th and the 44th Alabama came up over here on the left, and they were going to try to flank them. However, back over here, you're going to see a monument for the 4th Maine. And the 4th Maine was engaged in stopping them from trying to flank these guns. So what happened was...
What did they come up around Big Round?
They actually came over from this side over here. They didn't get to the Big Round Top. There was 2 other regiments that weren't there. Yeah, there were some Arkansas regiments as well. Following up on that, through all the smoke and confusion, and he wasn't supposed to be here, was Benning's Georgia Brigade. And that came up, and you see where that placard is right there? That's the placard to Benning's Georgia Brigade right there. So they came up through here in support of what was going on. 124th, which was over here, and you'll see a monument with Augustus Van Horn Ellis, who was the colonel of 124th New York. These cannons, along with the countercharge, went up to that stone fence over there. And unfortunately, they still could not depress the tubes low enough to make an effective fire because they had gotten that close. So what happened was they got overrun. One of the cannons was disabled, so they actually took over 3 cannons for a short period of time, but they ended up losing that as well. So the 124th, they lost a lot of men in that countercharge, and it's worth going down to see his monument there. I also have a little something that I can read about Augustus Van Horn Ellis as well.
Was he killed in the battle? Or?
He was. He was on horseback. He and on horseback.
Hey, Ron?
Yeah.
Weren't there 3 cannons on the top of this hill right here?
Not here, but there was the other 2 that he had. His cannons are by sections. So anytime that there's a battery normally has 6 tubes, and you just section them off 1, 2, and 3. So they always fire in pairs. So over here, if you'll notice the open gate over there, there used to be a fence gate.
Yeah.
And then they did a burn here a few months ago, and that basically destroyed the fence. And we'll take a little walk over there so you can actually see down in that valley. But you can imagine seeing these waves of Confederates coming towards you up through this section here into these swells as well.
They didn't have much protection charging though.
Well, they didn't. But there were some swells, so they did get protection from some of the swells in the ground.
Having a good time?
Yeah, love this. Love this place.
Rose's Woods. Okay, so this is Rose's Woods over here. Yeah, I believe it was 30. So I'll just read you a little passage here. It's called the Hawaiian Navy. Okay, but they basically refer to him as Colonel. Ellis was born in New York City. He went to Columbia University, and he became a lawyer. But with a name like Augustus, you have to think that the colonel had grander designs for life. He headed west to California, where he secured a government job of some sort, and was also a fireman and finally a sea captain. His travels took him to Hawaii, where he somehow became friendly with the King Kameda III, who appointed him head of the Hawaiian Navy. However, he soon learned that the Hawaiian Navy had no ships, so therefore he gave up the position and returned to California, where he became a steam captain. At some point he returned to New York and was living there when the Civil War began. He signed up with the local New York State unit and was at the Battle of First Bull Run at the very onset of the war. He was known as an ambitious man who was every inch a soldier, and in 1862 became colonel of the newly raised 124th Regiment, recruited largely from Orange County. So therefore they took on the name Orange Blossoms, just like we took on the 1st Long Island Regiment. Okay, on the afternoon of July 2nd, the 124th was posted near the left of Dan Sickles' unauthorized battle line atop a ridge just beyond Devil's Den. From this position they looked out over the triangular field, which is right here, where they poised to meet an attack by the Texans and the Georgians, who pounded the exposed Union line. At one point the Orange Blossoms counterattacked through the triangle field with the colonel mounted and high above his men, sword waving in the air. Some of his officers pleaded with him to come down from his horse where he was less of a target, but Ellis, former head of the Hawaiian Navy, refused. "No, the men must see us today," was his reply. And he did become a target, and he was felled by a rebel's bullet. So that's sort of like what happened to him. But the 124th basically was then, once they did their counterattack, then they retreated back to this position, and then all of Ward's brigade had pulled back towards the wheat field and also the Stony Hill as well.
Where was Sickles?
Okay. Sickles was up by the Salient, up by the peach orchard. Okay, so that's basically where he was.